Hey, this is an introduction to Mac basics. We're going to start off by talking about the desktop that we're looking at right here. And so there are some elements of the desktop that I want to make sure that you understand. The first one, we'll just start up here at the top left, and that's the Apple. And so the Apple icon is the Apple menu, and this is where you do software updates. You can set your system preferences. You can put your Mac to sleep or shut it down, log off, right? So one of the things in this system preferences, if we take a look at, let's say, here's my trackpad, right? So I can control speed, I can control where, so I do secondary or right click with 2 fingers, I can click with 1 finger. So all of those gestures that I can use with my trackpad are in there. If you had a mouse and wanted to add the second button or the second side as the secondary click, then you can do that. You can set up your printers. All of that nitty-gritty begins by going to the Apple menu and then system preference. Also, if you're on campus and you're using one of the lab Macs, you would always want to make sure that you log out so you don't leave your Mac up with your personal login in there. So then the next thing that we're going to look at is this, what's called the application menu, right? And so one of the things that you want to understand, I'm going to open up, well, I have Word open, so I'm going to go ahead and just open up Word. So one of the things that you need to recognize is that the application menu is always stuck up here at the top. It's the menu for whatever application you're currently using. You'll always see the name of that application here. So for example, let me open up Numbers. So the minute I do Numbers, you see this switches to Numbers. And let me just open a file. And so one of the things that I think confuses people is I could close out of this document, right? And I can come over here to Word, and it might appear as though my application that I closed, the window that I closed, that the application also closed. And that's really not true. Well, it is because I didn't do anything. So let me open that back up. And so let me just, okay. So then if I close out of this window, do you see the little dot that's showing here? That means, it just went away, that the application is still open, right? So if you look at this is called the dock. If you look down here, I've got a little button or a little dot under Chrome, Word, and Camtasia, which is what I'm using to record this movie. And then over here, Finder. Finder, you can never get rid of the dot. But these applications are still open, right? So you just want to watch that. But what I digressed a bit, the menu bar always is up there, right? Even though the window is different. And so this is a Windows application, so it is a little bit different. For any native Apple, you're not going to have a menu here. You're only going to have it up here. Okay, so I'm going to close that. I don't want to save it. But notice that Word is still there, still have a dot. To get actually out of Word, I'm going to do Word, quit Word. And then the dot's gone. That means the application is actually closed. So then if we look at, so this part here is the menu bar where there's nothing. And then if you come over here, this is known as the status bar. And so this shows the date, the time, gives you access to certain features, like I am on a MacBook and I'm plugged in, Wi-Fi. There's all these that kind of give you a quick, so if I wanted to turn my Wi-Fi off or any of that, I could quickly go up here. Here's my Bluetooth. And so that area is your status area. This right here, this little like magnifying glass, that is what's known as the spotlight icon. So if I click on it, I can find anything that I want on the app. So if I'm going to just type numbers, look, it's going to come up with anything. And so I could just click on it and open numbers from there, right? I don't really want that, so we're going to just get rid of that. But instead of searching for, and so let's see what else I could type. Right, so I typed the number of this class, right? And so it searched through it. I type that, you know, there's other documents. So you can quickly use that spotlight to search for things on your Mac. And then there's the notification area, which is a consolidation of messages, calendars, third-party apps, those type of things. I actually don't see that there. It looks like the little hamburger, little dots, little bulleted list. Okay, so then this is the desktop, and your applications will appear here. You can add more desktops by using Mission Control. And so Mission Control is an application that comes standard that allows you to have multiple windows. And so I am using on my MacBook the F3 key, and it allows me to have multiple desktops and switch through them. If I wanted to add a new desktop, I could use this plus key. So you might be thinking, why would I want different desktops? Well, let's say you have all of your applications for work, right? You could have that in a desktop and have them out here. Then let's say you have certain applications that you do for, like, let's say gaming or school. So you could actually create separate desktops that have the applications that you use for that purpose in that desktop, and then just use the Mission Control to switch through that. Mission Control is also down here on the dock, and it will allow me to do that. So yeah, so your desktop can be become busy, and one of the things, if you look over here, I have this where it's got 3 items, so I've grouped those together so that if I wanted to see them separately, I click on it and it opens them up. And this is by type, so here's my PDF documents, and I open it in there, but they don't take up, like, you know, all the space on my desktop. So let's see, you can change your background, right? So we're going to start up here, system preferences, desktop, right? And so I just have it rotating. You can have your own thing. It's done here. You can upload pictures. You can have the pictures change at a certain time. You can randomize them. And then you can set up a screensaver, which comes, I don't have it turned on. But if you click that, then after whatever minutes you have, see, my background just changed, it will go to the screensaver. So that's there. And then if I double click on, or right click, sorry, on the desktop, I can look at my view options. And so this would be how you position things on the desktop, how you sort them, in other words, how I stack them. These are called stacks. So I have them stacked by the type, but you could have them by date. You could have it by a tag. So like if you had everything about a class, you could tag all of those and then stack them on your desktop by that tag. It's just a way to organize your life. Okay, I think that, one last thing down here, and I've mentioned it, it's called the dock. And so the dock is where you can get applications that are already built. Like there's some that come, and then you can drag apps down to the dock if you want. And so the dock is the icon that sits usually at the bottom. Sometimes I put mine over here at the side. It provides access to some of your applications, and it tells you what's currently running, once again with the little dots. And then, so these are kind of like shortcuts, right? So if you double click on it, it's going to open it. Here, do you see this? So the break on the left side is applications, and then stacks and minimized are over here on the right. So it separates that out. So if I control click or right click on the dot, I did it right here on the line. Last time I was on the Word, so it was doing the properties for that. So control click right on that line. And right here is dock preferences, which you can also get to from the Apple. But you can do the size, so I could make it big. I can position it so it's over here on the left. I kind of like that sometimes. Genie effect or not, scale effect, you can play with that. That's how it zooms open and closes. So you could play with those properties for your dock. If you wanted to add something to the dock, so let's say I'm going to go here to Launchpad, and I want to put, let's see, something that's not here. Okay, so let's say I want to put chess on the dock. I'm just going to click and drag it and drop it. And now I have that shortcut on the dock. Let's say, okay, I don't have time to play chess, so I'm going to just drag it off. Sorry. I am right click or control click and got rid of it. Okay. You can, let me try this again. Let me just hold it. Yeah, there you go. I just wasn't holding it long enough. So do you see that? I just kind of hold it and it'll come up and say remove. The other thing on the dock that you want to be careful about is this trash can. I have emptied mine, but once you start deleting things, your trash can will become, have items in it. So if I right click on it, I can open the trash to look at it, or I can empty it, which I don't need to now because there's nothing in there. So those are some of the things on the dock that are important to you. All right, so then let's see. We want to talk about the Finder. So the Finder is this face here. Finder never goes away. You can't close it, right? And so Finder is your path to get to all of your folders and all of your files, right? So here's my list of favorites. Here's my cloud. Here are my locations. So I have my external drive. I've got my printer. I've got the network, right? I have documents, which takes me to my local drive, my downloads, recent is what shows up. And then I can go to my desktop and the stuff expanded that's stacked up here. So Finder is the way that you can locate files, applications, and resources, right? So printers, DVDs, whatever. whatever you have on there. So Finder is an important thing to understand. So stacks are kind of what I have here, and then you can also have stacks over here, and that is shortcuts in the docs. And so if I had downloads, there would be a download stack there, and when you click on it, it's going to fan open and show you everything in the stack that you can then use. Okay, so stacks is a good thing. And let's see. So let's say I'm going to come here to Finder, and I'm going to... So that is a very brief introduction to the Mac environment that you're going to be looking at. So in your materials folder in Blackboard, we start here. Okay, so in your Blackboard class, if you look in your week 1 and materials, there is help documents for all of these different things that we just talked about. Oh, the one thing I didn't talk about, I do need to talk about, that is screen captures on the Mac. It's important that you know how to capture things on the Mac. So if I wanted to capture the entire desktop, Command Shift plus the number 3, it is going to automatically create that. So right there, do you see? I'm going to do it again. Command Shift 3, it automatically created that image on your desktop, right, of whatever. So it's the whole system. And look, because I have that stacking, it's automatically putting it together. But let's say I only wanted to do a part of. So then that is Command Shift 4, and I get the little so I can click and drag, and then it only takes the picture of what I have outlined with my target. Those all create files. If you throw in the space bar when you're doing this, so let's say, let me get another application up. Let me get this numbers up. So let's just open this. So I have 2 things open here. Let's just size this, right? So if I do the Command Shift 4 spacebar, do you see how my mouse changes to a camera? So it will take a picture of that application, right? So in this case, there was still stuff hidden, and it took that whole window, okay? Right? So Command Shift 4 spacebar, and then it changes to the camera, and we get it. And then if you add Control to this, so Command Shift Control 3, it doesn't take, it takes a picture, but it doesn't make a file. It puts it in my, clipboard. So then I can just do a Control V or Command V, and it's going to pop it in because it's in the clipboard. So if you have your document up and you're just trying to grab stuff, you can just add that Control on. It's going to put it in the clipboard. It's not going to take space by actually making a file, and just dump it into your document as you go. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to close out of that, and I believe we're done. So if you look, there's this document here, and so we're good. All right, thank you guys. Please make sure to look at the assignment list and get the assignments done prior to the due date. All right, thank you.